Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gianni's team selection ahead of game week 9. I'm very rusty. I haven't done a stream in like a week and a half, something like that. Gianni, you're even rustier, aren't you? You've been to New York and you've got ill and you're back. How are you feeling? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I am. I'm good. I'm over the hill. I'm over the hill. It sounds like I'm
Over
about
the
to.
hill.
I'm due to die. Yeah. No, I'm way better. I've still got a bit of a COVID cough, but I'm testing negative. All is well, and it's good to be back, mate. I've missed these streams. It does seem like forever since we last spoke. So it was lovely to watch you and Sam go to town on my wildcard draft last time, and off the back of that wildcard, yeah, a small green, and looking forward to the next few weeks ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good week for you to get ill with the wildcard in play because it let us kind of let Sam and I kind of dissect your wildcard thinking. I mean, Sam and I aren't exactly flying in the rankings this year, but hopefully we made a couple of good points that you took on board,
Yeah.
and 60 points, like we'll talk about in a bit, was a good start. So yeah, we'll come on to that in a second. Just before we get into it, as always, this video and podcast is sponsored by Fantasy5. If you haven't checked out Fantasy5 yet, just trust me, this is a really good week to check it out for the first time. It is very achievable this week. If you don't know what it is, you can win £10,000 for free. All you've got to do is pick 5 players across 5 different games to outscore their fantasy points target. If you get those 5 players right, you win 10 grand. And yeah, Gianni and I play every week. We've been close, but not quite made it. Sam stepped in for you last week, Gianni, and we got 0 out of 5.
Oh,
Which, wasn't ideal. But look at this list again. It could have been 1. It wasn't 1, but it was another week where it could have been 1. So it's getting to a point now in which someone is going to win this 10 grand pretty soon. If you'd gone for Son, Saka, Iwobi, Grealish, and Billing, for example, in those 5 games, you have 10 grand in your bank account. So yeah, Gianni and I will, at the end of this video, we'll be talking through our selections for this week. But seriously, if you've been on the fence about it, do give it a try this week, because this is a good week to do it. I think someone's going to win it this week. Basically, that's kind of my inside knowledge. Excellent. There's links in the description below, so do check it out. Right, let's talk about game week 8. Game week 8, was it? It's bloody ages ago, wasn't it? I can't even remember.
honestly,
Yeah.
because of the week's postponements as well. When our queen died, it's like we've had one game week in a month, pretty much. So
Were you wildcarding into game week 7 then, or did you pull the trigger
no,
after the
I
breaks?
was. Mate, I was nowhere near a wild card. I was saying I'm not going to use it through this period. I might park it to game week 15 and have like a 2-week free hit out of it, because I was so happy with my team. And then we got these 7 fixtures are going ahead and these 3 aren't. And I was left without 11 men. And I just thought, I'm going to be taking hits. Don't do it. Just hit the wildcard button because it might have been a -4, it might have been a -8, but a few changes. But yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to wildcard at all. I had the likes of Trippier in. I feel like I had the right shape, but it was an excuse to mix it up and go 3 again. So I was happy to do it.
Yeah, well, let me just talk through your team quickly. So the team you ended up with on the wildcard was slightly different to the one Sam and I talked about. You on that draft, you had 2.3 million in the bank, and you kind of spread the funds around a bit more. You ended up using that money and changing a bit around. You went for Pope in goal, Cancelo, Trippier, Perisic, De Bruyne, the midfield dynamic duo of Bailey and Gordon, Martinelli, Kane, Haaland and Mitrovic up top, with Ward, Pereira, Williams and James nestled snugly on your bench, ready to come in for the good run of games. So I think the only real changes you made were, I think you had Tony and Saka, and you ended up switching those out for Gordon and Kane and using that 2.3 million in the bank. The rest of the team stayed as it was on that video that we presented. How are you feeling about it going forward? Are you relatively happy with how you set up?
It was one of those wild cards where I just didn't change much. Like, I sent that to you on the Tuesday. I think you streamed with Sam on the Wednesday, and as we said, like, there was only 2 changes. I think by the Thursday or Wednesday afternoon, I think I was locked. And I remember going 48 hours out from the deadline. I hadn't made any changes to my team. Like, it was just one of those wild cards that, to me, in my head, felt very comfortable, and I was at ease with it. It's not to say it was the right wild card. It's to say it's the wild card that I was happy with. I knew I wanted to go threemium. I knew I wanted Kane, Haaland, and De Bruyne. I knew I wanted a couple of expensive defenders in there: Cancelo, Perisic, Trippier, and James. And then it meant that I had to have some enablers. And when we look at this team on screen now, look, Bailey and Gordon aren't great. But please don't think that I'm going to have to start Bailey and Gordon every week. I'm simply unlikely to do that, right? Reece James didn't have a fixture, so he will be in the 11 pretty much every week. If he's got a fixture, he'll play. And every now and then, Andreas or Williams will have a better week than a Bailey or a Gordon. So potentially both those guys are just going to be bench fodder. But look, that's the compromise you take. I would have loved to have got an 8 million midfielder in there. There's a few that I really want. But Threemium doesn't necessarily allow it. Not if you want Mitro in the defence as well. So I'm really happy with it, actually.
You have to make a sacrifice. If you're going for three big hitters, you have to basically accept that you're going to have a 5-5 or a 5 million mid playing each week. So you're going to have to play one of Gordon, Bailey, Andreas or Williams every week. But then the rest of your team looks pretty solid, as long as, you know, Gordon and Bailey and one of those isn't ideal, but we've got James coming in. So it's only one real sacrifice that you kind of had to make. Well, I say it's only one real sacrifice you've had to make because you've gone down the classic wildcard approach of 0 Liverpool.
Yep.
So from game week 1, you know, when we were talking about, you know, it was too many Liverpool players we want. Nunes, you know, Salah, Diaz, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk. Even Alisson was mentioned at 5-5.
It's definitely the headline, isn't it?
It is definitely the
headline of this team. But what I would say is, I never went 3 Liverpool early in the season when everyone else did. Wasn't massively on that. I've not owned Luis Diaz all season. I owned him last season when no one else did. Didn't own him this year when everyone else did. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I've had Trent and Salah, sure. And this team lacks Trent and it lacks Salah. However, by going no Liverpool, I'm not saying Liverpool aren't going to score points. I'm saying that I think there are better value and other options out there to both Trent and Salah at the moment, right? So I look at Trent, Brighton, Arsenal, City. Well, I can save money and have Reece James, Cancelo, Trippier over him all day long with their fixtures. I'm happy not having Trent. Salah, of course, I want. I think if you own Salah for Brighton at Anfield, he's probably this week's best captaincy option if you own him. Do I think you need to beeline to get him in? No. If you have him, of course, you hold him. But knowing it's Arsenal and Man City after that, again, I'm not saying Salah's not going to get points. I'm just saying I think De Bruyne is going to get more. So the plan is, come game week 11 when De Bruyne plays Salah, or maybe game week 12 when De Bruyne doesn't have the fixture, the plan with this wildcard was always De Bruyne to Salah, and I can make that happen by downgrading Perisic. I don't want Perisic long-term with all the fixtures, rotation risk. Hell, he might even be injured. We don't know yet. We saw him do that for Croatia in game 1. I don't know. I didn't check. Did he play for Croatia last night? I'll check that during the stream. So yeah, I've got a plan to get Salah in quite comfortably. I do not have a plan to get Trent in. And I think I'm okay with that because I prefer Cancelo. I prefer James. And for the value, for the money that it saves me at the moment, I'm comfortable on Trippier. And you just can't have them all.
No. I mean, the fixtures that you mentioned don't strike me as lots of defensive returns for Liverpool. I think Trent is someone who, you know, a lot of people, you know, were slated for saying that Trent might be disposable, you know, even 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I think I don't think I've seen Trent on any wildcard drafts that I've seen over the last couple of weeks, because people obviously looked at the fixtures, looked at their defensive record, and thought, okay, we can do better value. You know, Cancelo's better value, Trippier's better value, and James are all better value at the moment. So I can completely see why he's gone. Salah's an interesting one. I mean, I sold Salah last week, not on a wildcard. De Zerbi's come in for Brighton, and you know he is a ridiculously attacking manager for people who don't know. He loves to push his fullbacks up. He likes the team to attack. He's already been quoted as saying he wants his team to attack, control games, and everything. There are goals in that game at Liverpool for Brighton and Liverpool. I think I'm expecting that to be a really high scoring game. So I completely agree. I think Salah is the standout captain's option this week, and I think you and I and a lot of people who are watching this video who have got rid of Salah are going to be nervous watching that game. But like you say, you can't have them all.
Yeah, and despite us saying he's the best captaincy option and I'm confident if you own Salah and if I own Salah this week, we'd probably both be happy to captain him. We wouldn't be going with the masses and Haaland. We'd see an opportunity there. But I still think 90% will go, that perhaps even do own both, will go Haaland because it's Haaland and it's still a good fixture for Haaland and it's the safe option because people care about things like effective ownership. So look, sure, I'd love Salah this weekend. I'm actually not nervous about owning him because I don't think it will kill us if he if he goes big, because his ownership's really dropped. He's what, like 35% owned now, and so many will still captain Haaland. So yeah, it hurts you a little bit, but it's not like months or years gone by when you don't have Salah, you can't captain him, and he goes and scores big and has 150% effective ownership and really hurts your rank. So it's fine. And then the fixtures after that, I'm happy not owning him for Arsenal and City, because I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool lose those one, if not both of those games. I genuinely think Arsenal are a real force this season, and I think Liverpool will struggle against them. And then City, we don't know what happens in that one, but it could be tight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing is that Salah, you're not even guaranteed if Liverpool do score 3 or 4 goals that he's going to be the main person getting them. Obviously, he's got penalties. Obviously, he's still their kind of main player, but he has been playing out wide quite a lot. We've got Nunes coming. We've got Diaz playing well. There's lots of other players in that squad who can come in. So he is kind of sharing those points more, or likely to share the points. Plus, Liverpool are off form. The thing is, they are getting their players back. Thiago back is obviously absolutely huge. Trent's had a nice rest over the international break. You can kind of say what you want about that with us struggling to score up until that Germany game. I think Liverpool are going to be refreshed after this break. I think it's come at a good time for them. I expect them to do well, but yeah, the fixtures are difficult, and I just wonder what's going to happen. I mean, what you want to see, what we don't want to see, I guess, in some ways, is Salah scoring big, getting a 15-pointer, because we don't have it.
Yeah.
But in some ways, that does create quite an interesting landscape for FPL, because you would have to move players around to get him in. I don't even know how. I'd probably have to sell Kane or something like that. There's going to be other people who have completely spread that money around and have no clear route to getting him back. And are people going to do it? If Haaland's going to be the captain choice every week still, are people going to be burnt, or risk being burnt by Salah again going forward? So it's an interesting period ahead, I think, for Salah.
It really is. Do you know what? Salah owners can take a little bit of confidence in the respect that he played in that first game for Egypt in international break. He scored 2. One was a penalty against Niger. I think they won 3-0. Game 2, he was, go back to Liverpool, have a rest. So again, Salah's got a little rest as well. It's perfect. I really think if you own Salah this week, guys, go against Haaland. I think Haaland scores. I'm captaining him. But if you own them both, this is the week to have a bit of fun. And it feels weird saying it, but Salah captaincy will feel like a differential.
It will.
Against Brighton at Anfield.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Game week 2-3, we're all saying the template's so strong.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change it round. And then now you've got a team with Bailey and Gordon in it and no Salah and no Trent. So it just shows how quickly it will turn around. A few people in the chat. Vazen asking, what's my rank? Oh, you don't want to know. It's not very good because it's not on the screen, obviously. That's how it works.
Can I just say, as his rank is not on screen, because he committed to that at the start of the season, so don't think that he's left it out for any other reason. For respect that we said this is my team reveal on my stream, therefore only put my rank on, good or bad.
I think it makes sense. Last year I was getting comments about my rank and stuff, and it's just a bit stupid. That's when I was doing well, so I thought, now one could. And I'm doing my own team selection video on Thursdays as well, so you can see it then if you. It creates a bit of hype for that. Although you're going to see it tonight on Black Box anyway. Someone asked about Brighton. CH would love your take on Brighton. Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, I think we're going to attack. I think we're going to still be a really fun team to watch. De Zerbi is. Of the mould of Potter, it seems. He likes to control games. He likes to attack. We're going to get loads of players involved. I think the really interesting thing is what system we set up in, because I don't think he's ever played with wing-backs before. So the 3 centre-backs and wing-back system isn't one that he seems to like. I don't think we have the players for any other system, though, because our full-backs in a 4 would be Lamptey and Estupinian, who are very attacking, but defensively with Duncan Webster, I mean, we will get got at if we go with a back 4 of those guys. So I don't know whether
he usually plays a 4. He usually plays about 4 as well.
He does,
and he plays one striker, so similar to Potter. It's like a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. But it is a back 4 he's always played, so it will be interesting. Yeah,
he pushes those fullbacks up really, really high, which will suit Lamptey and Estupinian, but we'll get got at, I think, quite a lot if he does go with that. He plays with number 10, so I'd be interested to see if that'll probably be Gross, and then it'll probably be McAllister and Casado sort of holding. So I think it's good news for Gross. I think it's good news for Trossard. He'll be pushed further up the pitch. It'll be good news for the fullbacks, whoever they are, or wing backs. So I think you hold. I think you hold on to your Brighton players. I think maybe if you've got like a Dunk or a Webster or someone, it's probably a good time to jump off them. But attacking wise, I think you hold all the attackers. I think we're gonna carry on attacking because he's got the if he wants to play a controlling possession based attacking system, like that's what we've been building over the last couple of years. So there's no reason it's not like he's gonna have to make loads of changes to it. So I'm confident. I think it's a really good appointment for us. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Agreed.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm 2.8 million in the world, by the way, if you didn't want to know. Damien Brains, whose surname I can now pronounce. Hello, says hate international breaks. Yeah, don't we all? It's good to be back. Right, let's have a look at your team for next week or this week. Come forward. Here we go.
Yeah. Perisic, by the way, did play for Croatia on Sunday night. I think he came off, but he played Sunday night. I don't think that was the game he did the whole. That was last Thursday. So after doing that and coming off, and by the way, it was Højbjerg who injured him, his club teammate.
That's the most Spurs thing I've ever heard in my life.
So hopefully Perisic is fine.
Yeah, I'm just checking now. He didn't come off. He got booked, but he played the 90. So
great on Sunday night. Yeah, okay, good.
Night. Yep.
Who did they? Have you got? Do you know who they played?
They played Austria. They won 3-1.
It was Austria, and then it was So it was the first game against that he got injured in, which was Denmark.
Was Denmark on the 22nd. Yeah, so he played again like 3 days later and played 90. So he's likely completely fine and most likely starts against Arsenal. I imagine. I can't see why.
I love that he plays in the front three for Croatia as well. He's literally in a front three, and he plays pretty much the same role at Spurs, and he's listed as a defender.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just those minutes. Just those.
I
minutes.
know. Yeah. And it's about to get tough for him because the schedule now for Spurs is midweek every single week until the World Cup. So you got to think that Everton fixture looks nice in 3 game weeks time. Well, that could be his benching.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting. Right, your team then for game week 9. Pope in goal. Cancelo, Trippier, Perisic, James. Decent back line. De Bruyne, Gordon, Martinelli. Gordon's got Southampton, so yeah, not too bad. Then Kane, Haaland, Mitrovic. Ward, Bailey, Andreas and Williams on the bench. 1 free transfer. 0.1 million in the bank. You must be pretty happy with this. It looks good.
There's always a player though, isn't there? Who is a player that you really want and probably can't reach them? And I do have that player, and I'll tell you about him in just a sec, guys. But before I do, for me to carry on this stream, can we get some likes, please? 36 likes. There's over 350 of you watching. And look, Focus in the chat has just given me the reminder. Smash the like button, people. So yeah, please do. If you like it, you don't have to, but hit the like button and do subscribe. But look, the player I really want this week. Is your boy actually it's James Maddison. And I knew when I wildcarded that I was limiting myself with Threemium by not having an 8 million mid. And I never wanted Bowen. And I didn't want Zaha early. I think Zaha now is a good pick. I didn't really get the Bowen hype. I still don't. West Ham are not a team that will score 2 goals plus a game. Well, Leicester are. Leicester really are. We saw that again against Spurs. I don't know if they'll win many games, and I don't know how many they'll concede, probably lots. But they are a team that will score goals, and Maddison is central to everything. 3 goals already this season and an assist. The fixtures are so good. I really want to get Maddison, and I can get to him by going Martinelli to Maddison, Perisic down to a 4.1. Now, the only 4.1 that I would go to is Patterson, and we still don't know his injury status. So
we do have some confirmation. I think he's out for 4.
What do we have?
I think it was 4 to 5 weeks. He's out for. So he's out for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that move's dead then. So yeah, I think with that in mind, it will be a roll for me.
Interesting. A few people in the chat talk about Mitrovic being injured. He's not injured. He played last night, I believe, and scored.
He just had ice on his ankle, and that's not uncommon for a footballer to have ice on to pick up a small knock.
Yeah, because he had a knock before, didn't he? And then everyone was worried about it. But then he started. Was it last night or it was last night?
Yeah, he played 90. I think he played 90.
I think he did come off.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think.
But
so.
Anyway, he was seen after the game with ice around his ankle, but he was walking.
I don't think
it's precautionary.
I don't think it's a serious injury. He's got 12 in 11 this season for club and country, Mitrovic. 58
and he doesn't
65
have Champions
games.
League or European football, so they only have to wheel him out at the weekend, and he can have a few days off. Like I'm confident a player like Mitro against his old club Newcastle. He starts that football
also,
match.
It's Mitrovic. Have you seen Mitrovic? Yeah. Like, he played with one leg. Like he's absolute animal. That guy. There's absolutely no way.
He's a warrior.
There is no way that unless he's like in a full cast and can't, and basically wheelchair bound. There's no way he's not getting on that pitch against his old club, Newcastle. So I honestly wouldn't worry about Mitrovic at all. So any transfers planned with this, or just going to roll?
No, the only one I was looking at was the 4-point hit, which got me Maddison. And and I don't really want to sell Martinelli because I know after game week 12, where he does have a blank, the fixtures are so good. And I still want to cover Arsenal attack, knowing I don't have a wild card. I can't dead end 12, as some might be doing, and then wild card out of it, which I think, by the way, if you've still got a wild card in hand, it's a really good idea. So, yeah, there's no other 4.1 defenders I like. I need a starter. I'm not selling Perisic for an enabler. Well, it would be for an enabler, but I'm not selling him for dead wood on the bench. It would be for someone that at least starts. And unfortunately, with Emerson, we're not guaranteed that. With Patterson, we were. But if he's out for 4 or 5 weeks, then yeah, rules that one out. And look, Perisic in the London derby, I quite want him in there anyway. So I'm pretty confident, unless we get any injury news, which isn't great for me, I think I'll be rolling. I do like, and I've just seen it in the chat, Sinistero as an option. He scored again. He was my game week transfer plan for game week 7 when the fixtures were postponed. I didn't wildcard him in because Leeds didn't have a fixture. Martinelli to Sinistero is pretty much Martinelli is the only player I'm looking to ship on, potentially. But I still don't know. And if I go like for like, then it's Sinistero. If I try and find the funds, it's Maddison.
Yeah, Sinistero is a fun one because obviously his minutes have been managed. He played 20 minutes in game week 3, 31 minutes in game week 4, 63 in game week 5, and then 58 in game week 6. He was coming back from the injury, but now he's had the rest. He's been away the internationals. He's in good form. Leeds have got good fixtures. He is such a fun player to watch. Like every time I watch him, he looks so dangerous, so attacking. Yeah. He's taken on that kind of Rafinha mantle and just looks great. And his XGI is really high. Leeds are still a good attacking side. So I really like that move. I think, if people maybe have got 2 free transfers or something and they're looking at someone a bit different, and you are, I don't mind Martinelli. I think he's still a good option, but obviously he hasn't got the game in game week 12 and a couple of rough fixtures before then. I think Martinelli to Sinistero is quite a nice move, actually. I like it.
Do you? He came on last night against Mexico, scored 2 goals in the second half. He came on at half time. The only concern for me is minutes because of his heavy schedule he's had in the international break. I don't like picking South American players off the back of a long flight home as well. I know it's silly to do that. And sometimes we saw as Rafinha, if they play in the early kickoff on a Saturday, it's like, oh, has he even been in England long enough? But fortunately, Leeds do play on the Sunday. So Sinistero is an option. I just really like the idea, knowing I don't have Salah, and to get Salah in 11 or 12, I'm going to need 2 free transfers, right? Because it's not going to be like for like. It's going to be De Bruyne out and Perisic down. So the idea of rolling off the back of the wild card makes complete sense. But for my 11 this week, Sinistero, love his fixtures, Aston Villa at Ellen Road. The big question, I guess, comes down to is, do you think Martinelli's a hold or a sell? What do you own him as?
I've got him. Yeah, I've got him, and I'm holding him for now. I mean, I've got other issues that I need to deal with. If I didn't, it's Spurs, and then it's Liverpool, and then it's Leeds. Okay, that's good, and then it's a pretty tough game. So I think if you're going to do it, you have to kind of do it now, because otherwise you just ride out Liverpool, Leeds, and then make a decision. I mean, after the blank though, it's Southampton and Forest. So again, you're coming into a good run, and Arsenal are a really good team this season. I've already got rid of Jesus, so it's quite nice to have that kind of Arsenal coverage there. And I think Martinelli's a good pick. But if I had a transfer
team value
this
as
week,
well.
Yeah,
I bet you paid 6, and he's 6.6 now.
I got him a bit later, so I wouldn't lose a lot of money on him. But I would be in your position. I would be tempted to get Sinistero.
I'll lose 0.3 on him, but I'm with you. It's either sell this week or it's hold for the foreseeable.
I think so.
And I could very easily buy him back in game week 13, 14. It just means I'm paying a little bit of a premium for him because, I do want him for 13 at Southampton, 14 it's Forest, Chelsea, then Wolves before the World Cup. It's good, but it's not amazing. I guess you don't have to have Arsenal before the World Cup. One to think about.
I mean, it's in game week 12, Sinistero's got Leicester, which is about the best game he could have, assuming Rodgers is still in charge. And then in game week 13, it's Fulham. So, I don't know. It seems. I think that's going to be a very popular move for Martinelli in game week 12 anyway. Moving from Martinelli to Sinistero to target that Leicester game. I guess it's just whether you do it early and kind of get on it. But I mean, Leeds' fixtures aren't amazing. I mean, it's Villa this week, which is fine, and Palace away, Arsenal. I mean, Villa as well. I mean, they set up very defensively. in their last game, just to try and grind out that 1-0 win. So it's not a gimme that, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably do it in your position, but I can see why people would hold as well. So
Yeah, he's not had 90 all season. He's played 63 minutes is the longest he's had, but that's going to change at some point. He's going to be the main man at in that team. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's talk about some of the big games this week then. 2 big derbies. I mean, we've had all this time off and missed fixtures and all this kind of stuff, but this weekend looks really good for football again.
Yeah.
Let's start with City United. When you tripled up with City, start this, after that Brighton and Brentford game, you would have said that City would win this 8-0. United now on a very good streak, winning all their games. Solid defensively, again, Martinez and Varane in there. Attacking wise, scoring goals. How confident are you about this City result with all these City players on your side?
Confident, very confident. I know United have looked a little bit different and a little bit good and a little bit okay, but they haven't played Haaland and they haven't played City. This team's different gravy. They've not had a real test, and when they do, Haaland wants to score against. Haaland's dad would have told him all about Manchester derbies. He's grown up watching them. Obviously, his dad suffered that horrific injury from the Roy Keane incident in a Manchester derby. The team he most wants to score against when he comes to the Premier League. He's actually been on record saying it in pre-season. Can't wait to play United. Really want to score against United. That's the big team for him. I'm really excited to own him and captain him against United. And look, yeah, it's triple Man City. In a way, it's quadruple because I've captained a City player too, right? So eggs in baskets, I'm there for it. I think it's a nice fixture. If it was at Old Trafford, I might feel a little bit differently. But I do like it a lot. And I can't wait. Do you know, from a footballing point of view, just as a fan, I can't wait to watch it. It's the early game on the Sunday. It's a 2 p.m. game. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Cancelo, De Bruyne, and Haaland in your team, and think, okay, you've got the 3 best players from the best team in the league. How often you're only going to be disappointed by rotation? Really, I can't see many games in which those 3 players don't deliver points when they all start. And in De Bruyne, Haaland, and Cancelo, you've got the 3 most nailed on players anyway. So no Salah, but City are, like you say, City are just so far above everyone else. They're not going to get challenged, are they? They're going to walk the league, I think.
Yeah, they are. And De Bruyne, you could argue De Bruyne and Haaland, the link there with those 2 players, that's the most dynamic combination in world football, right? And we've got the opportunity to own them both in FPL. De Bruyne is 32% owned. His ownership is going up a bit, but he's still in the community at times feels a bit like a differential. Look, I don't think I'll own him long term because I do want Salah in eventually. But if De Bruyne keeps delivering, maybe that Salah move is delayed or doesn't even happen. It's Southampton after United, and he's playing right on the shoulder of De Bruyne. It's at times looks like a front 2. Obviously, Foden's playing well wide, whether he plays left or right, and that 3 has clicked really nicely. But I love touch maps, and I use the Scout website a lot for those average position maps and the heat maps and the touch maps. And I love seeing this season more than ever De Bruyne almost as advanced as Haaland, pretty much playing on his shoulder at times. That's where I want him. The most frustrating thing from De Bruyne as an FPL asset, and guys, we've all been there. Every one of you watching this has probably owned De Bruyne at some point where you watch him in games and you go, I'm going to sell him. He's so expensive and he's playing so deep. He's quarterback. He's getting the assist of the assist. We haven't really seen that this season. And when we don't see that, we see him higher up the pitch. My God, he's a good FPL asset.
We saw it for 1 half, which was in the Palace game when they were losing that game 2-0.
Oh, he came short to get on the ball.
He did. Yeah. He dropped very deep to give them a bit more in midfield, but that was because they were 2-0 down. How many times are they going to be 2-0 down this season? Probably very. I think it's a really interesting game. This. I think United have just come off the back of that Arsenal win. That was their last game, which was crazy because that seems like months ago, but it was only about 3 weeks ago, so 3 or 4 weeks. Arsenal played really well in that game. They dominated the ball really a lot, but United have got this knack, and they had it under Solskjaer, of playing to their strengths, hitting teams quickly on the counter-attack, forced them into mistakes and getting goals. So they can fall apart if they try and do different strategies. They've done it. They've fallen apart against City before. They've fallen apart against Liverpool and other teams. But it'd be really to see what United do in terms of tactically. Because if they set up, like they did against Arsenal, they're going to give City a lot of the ball, and they could get punished. But at the same time, they could hit them quite hard on the counter and nick it. Yeah. So
I don't think it suits them playing a team like City or an Arsenal because and then we saw it under Ollie. They were at their best when they played good teams
Yeah.
who had a lot of the ball. They could sit deep and then they could play split forwards, Rashford and Sancho or whoever. And it does play to their strengths. But I still think just City will. If City score early, it could be big. If they don't score early, then yeah, it could be a tight one.
Yeah. That's on Sunday, isn't it? I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 2 p.m. It's the early one.
Yeah. What about Arsenal Spurs then? I mean, I was at the Spurs Stadium last season when Spurs won and got into the top 4. Amazing game, amazing atmosphere, incredible. 2 teams in good form again this season, both vying for the top 4. I mean, I was doing the predictions for Black Box Night. I was sat there for about 5 minutes on this one, just thinking, I have no idea what way this is going to go. In the end, I think I've gone for Arsenal to edge it because they're the home team, but
yeah,
it should be a really good game.
It will be. I really like Arsenal this season. I think they're going to get top 4. I think they might get 3rd. I think they could even get 2nd. Like they are Man City 2.0. Arteta has spent a huge amount of time with Pep. He's even bought some of Pep's players in Zinchenko and Jesus. They're playing like City. They are a weaker version of City, even the way they play. So look, I think they're favourites in that one. I think at the Emirates probably is what swings it. Conte though is a guy for the big fixture. And again, he will let Arteta have a lot of the ball, and that might suit Spurs. And I think this is a really nice fixture for Son, especially off the back of his hat-trick. Scoring goals for fun now for South Korea. Playing on the counter, like we said with Rashford, it suits him again in the Manchester derby. This will suit Son. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a score draw here. I think we'll see, I hope we see goals. Again, I think this is the early kickoff on the Saturday. So again, a really nice TV fixture for us from a footballing point of view. From FPL though, really hard to bank on anyone in this fixture. Kane's got a good record against Arsenal though, which is nice for me. He was a boyhood Arsenal fan. I think he's pictured in an Arsenal shirt from when he was like 8 years old or something.
I think I've read that no player has scored more goals against Arsenal than Kane.
Wow, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
he does always seem to score against them.
Yeah, it's Arsenal and Leicester. There is 2 clubs, and he's played for Leicester before, and and a boyhood Arsenal fan, so there might be something in it. Yeah, like really interesting game. And what do you make of this this kind of theory? I mean, I heard it from Sonaldo a few weeks ago, which is that Perisic is the one kind of really denting Son's appeal.
I saw that from Sonaldo. I disagree with it. I would say the only thing I'd say Richarlison is the one that's hindered Son, and I don't mean he's occupying the space in the team. I think the Richarlison signing made a difference to Son. I think it went, okay, maybe my place isn't guaranteed. And I think there was a little bit of, well, I'm not first choice. And, the team isn't always built around me now because he's come in and he's scoring some goals. I don't buy the Perisic thing at all. I don't think he does occupy the same spaces. I think Son has become Spurs' main striker, main number 9 central striker. And if anything, having creative players like Perisic behind you should suit you. I don't think Son's hugging the touchline. Therefore, I don't think Perisic is running into those spaces.
Usually, it was a frustrating.
I like the fact we could see Perisic right wing back now as well, though. He saw Conte try that. He went Sessegnon and Perisic. And again, I'm happy with that. And if it does make a difference, and Sonaldo, who I guess has analysed it and fair opinion, if Perisic playing on the right is better for Son, then I'm up for that too, because I want my boy Perisic getting some assists.
As long as we just want him in the team. That's your starting point with Perisic. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting with Son, isn't it? Because, a lot of people were selling Salah, obviously, and we all kind of knew that Son wouldn't start. I mean, we had the predicted lineup from... I've forgotten his name. The Spurs kind
Paul,
of in the know. Paul something. Who said he wasn't expecting him to start. I think we all kind of expected it, but we all knew Leicester was a good fixture. So some people went for it anyway. I think Granville went for him, even though he was he can come off the bench and get something, which is
fair play.
That's very different to the way I look at things and play. But fair enough, it's worked out. But I think generally speaking, if you're optimal strategy, you don't pick a player who's pretty likely to be benched, but. The Salah to Son move would have been so easy for a lot of people like me. I've kind of had to move things around and get Kane in. I've dropped Jesus, for example, because I wanted a player for that match. Do you think Son's an option now?
Yeah, I do. Off the back of that hat-trick, look,
O'Keefe,
what smart management.
Paul O'Keefe.
That's it. who did get a couple of bits wrong in the Champions League before. You got only, I think, 9 out of the 11. So I think he's just a very good guesser. I don't think, I'm not convinced there's an in the know there. I think he's just a very good predictor. But
He
Yeah,
called
Son.
sorry, just quick. He called the
Go on.
Perisic stuff at the start of the season, didn't he? He knew
He
he
did.
was lacking fitness and was very unlikely to be in the team. I think that's where he's got his kind of credibility.
Yeah, he did. So look, Son, I think it's super smart management from Conte to go, I'm going to leave you out against the worst defence in the league, but I'm going to give you half an hour. When the worst defence in the league are tired, I'm going to give you half an hour. It worked. And seeing, you could see like carrying the pressure 7 game weeks in, and he was, or 7 Premier League games in, and you could see how disappointed he was to not have a goal. Like, I was a bit like, oh, okay, this guy really cares about his numbers, because most players 7 games in as a wide forward or even as a striker, it's not really a big deal that you haven't scored. But for him, it was like the deep breath, the shoulders drops. Like, you can see he's been carrying that weight. So yeah, exactly.
Of course.
He really matters to him. Really matters to him. So he cares about his numbers, and we love that. We know he's probably the best finisher in the league. He always outperforms his XG. He won't always get 90. That he still won't. I don't think that matters. I do think he is the best Spurs option if you're looking just purely for goals. I think he'll outscore Kane this season for goals. Well, certainly non-penalty goals. I don't know. The penalty threat maybe balances it 50-50. But yeah, if I was on a wild card, would I be going there? I still don't think I would. My wild card draft this week would probably not have Spurs attack. I would probably not go 3-man and have your Tony in instead of Kane, and then your Maddison instead of your Gordons.
Would you believe that Son is 2 points behind Salah this season?
Is he? That hat trick. I mean, that shows what a mega haul does, doesn't it? We saw it with Tony. Like, looking at the best scoring forwards this season, most would say it'd be Haaland, and then you would go, okay, is it Kane, and then the third spot, who occupies that? You'd think it'd probably be Mitrovic, or you might think Gabriel Jesus. It's Tony, but Tony had a 17-pointer, and that's the difference it makes.
If only there was a manager out there who could have called that Son could match Salah this season, and had stuck with it.
Poor Mark.
Bless him.
Timing is everything, though, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Timing is everything in this game.
Timing is everything. I think that's it, really. The only other thing to mention, I guess, is your double Newcastle defence. I mean, you must have been gutted with that billing goal.
Honestly, the lowest XG they've had against them all season, Bournemouth game, and then they're going to concede.
I hate double ups in defence. I hate it. I mean, unless it's Liverpool or City or one of the top sides, I just always find. I think Pope is the best goalkeeper. And I think Trippier is the best, one of the best value defender. But yeah, I just find it so hard to double up with them. So
and I've got Mitrovic playing against them as well.
Exactly, I know it's it annoys me. I think I think you have got to look at it kind of in isolation. And like I just said, I think Pope is a great goalkeeper. I think Trippier is great. There's no reason not to do it. It just purely from an annoyance point of view. When Billing scores a goal from their one shot in the game, it's just
yeah,
typical.
Yeah.
At least Trippier got the assist. Right, I think that's pretty much it. You're set on Haaland captain though? No.
Oh, I'm set. I'm set. But for those joining late, if I own Salah this game week, genuinely, I'm pretty confident I'd be going there. If I own Haaland and Salah, saying that, I'm very happy to have Haaland with the armband this week.
So Salah, if you've got him, you're going for Haaland. You are considering Martinelli to Sinistera, but probably won't do it. And you want Maddison, but can't have him because you've got no way of getting an 8 million mid.
Yeah, Maddison's the player I want the most. I might settle for Sinistera. If not, I'll be rolling.
Do you think Maddison's a captain option this week? Just quickly?
No, I wouldn't want to bank on Leicester for anything. I do think they'll score goals in that fixture, but you still wouldn't be surprised if Forest went and won 1-0. You wouldn't be like, okay, I completely didn't see that coming. With Leicester, you really can't bank on anything at the moment.
I think that game could decide a manager job. I think if Forest win that, Rodgers is gone. I think if Leicester win it, I think Cooper's gone, because that owner is way too ambitious to.
He's spent a lot of money.
And if he doesn't believe he's the guy to get him, and obviously he's a great manager, has done amazing things there, but they are looking really poor and the team isn't gelling. Yeah. And this is a big game. So interesting. Very interesting match.
Yeah.
Full of interesting games this weekend. I'm really looking forward to the football this weekend.
Me too. It's well overdue.
Yep. Cool. Right, let's talk Fantasy 5. Again, we mentioned this at the start of the video. This is your way of winning £10,000 for free. Pick 5 players across 5 different games. They outscore their fantasy target and you win. As I said earlier, this is a good week to play. There are some very achievable looking targets this week, and I really do think someone's going to win it this week. So get involved. A link in the description below. Let's go through them. Let's pick our players. So we've got Fulham Newcastle first. We've got Mitrovic at 6.5. Isak at 6.5. Is it Isak's injured, isn't he? Is he out?
Yeah, he's out for 2 weeks.
So was it Chris Wood coming in, do we reckon?
Well, Callum Wilson apparently is fit.
Okay.
Is he on here?
Wilson
Yeah,
6.5.
6.5. Although will he play 90? I don't know. It's at the Cottage as well. I kind of like Fulham.
Yeah, I mean Pereira's 5.5, which I quite like. He needs an assist and a clean sheet or a goal. There's no bonus on this for anyone wondering. So it's purely goals, clean sheets, and assists. If we are looking at the Newcastle midfielders, these ones, Maximan and Gamiras are 7.5 each. I think you go for Mitrovic at 6.5 or Pereira.
Yeah, I'm happy with Mitro against his old team at the Cottage off the back of a hat trick this week.
Let's play. Like, a lot of the time when we do this, we go for Harrison Reed would have been our pick, and I know he scored. A few people got him off the bench, just bloody typical that. But let's play this relatively safe this week because, like I said, there are some good options. Okay, so it's Southampton Everton next. So you've got Adams at 6.5, Mope at 6.5. Up top, Ward-Prowse 7.5. And then your boy Gordon at 7.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm an Everton fan here, mate. Okay. I am. Everton, they've kept clean sheets against West Ham and Liverpool in the last 2.
Okay, well, I've got a player.
What are their defenders at?
I've got a player for you then. Seamus Coleman at 5.5.
Oh, he comes in as well.
Comes in for Patterson. There you go.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Seamus Coleman assists used to be a thing that happened all the time. Do you remember? He went through a phase of being like a really good FPL asset. I think it was like 6 million.
He was incredible for me. I had him for like the whole. Just every week he would get a goal or something, or it felt like it. He can't have got that many, but it felt like he was getting something.
Blast from the past.
There you go. Seamus Coleman coming in for the injured Patterson. Excellent.
Let's hope he doesn't start Vinagre there. Because he signed Vinagre from who can play left back and right back, but surely Coleman starts.
Coleman's still captain, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he might be. I think he is club captain. Let's go with it.
West Ham Wolves. We got Antonio at 6.5, Scamacca, all the strikers basically at 6.5, Costa as well. In midfield, we've got Bowen at 7.5. He was poor, wasn't he, for the people who brought him in? He was the highest. He had the highest XGI of all players in that game against Everton.
Yeah, I heard that.
But again, no returns.
Still low though.
Yeah. Rice, Benrahma. We've got kind of quite a few options around here. The Wolves players are a bit cheaper. Nunes, for example.
What's Diego Costa? Is Diego Costa on there for his debut? I just don't know if he's going to start though. It might be too risky.
He's 6.5. All the defenders are 6.5 as well. I think this is the tricky one. This is the one where I kind of find it quite hard to know which one to go for.
Diego Costa hasn't had a club since January either. He's not going to be fit even with a few weeks training.
No, I don't know. I think we probably go for
West Ham attack.
Paqueta maybe 7.5.
Yeah. I was going to say Paqueta. He's the one because he's the one we know will start as well.
Let's go for Paqueta. I think this is the tricky one. I think there's good options in all the other games, but the West Ham Wolves one is tricky. City United, we've got Haaland at 10.5, the most expensive one, along with De Bruyne as well at 10.5. Foden 8.5.
We've got to go City attack, but we can't. That might be a Cancelo or a Foden. I don't know.
Yeah, United are a lot cheaper though. I mean, you've got Sancho at 5.5, for example. If you think they're going to hit him on the counter, Fernandes 6.5. Ericsson 5.5. Some good options there. Cancelo's only 7.5.
Is your gut saying back a United player? Because I struggle to back United in anything, anytime, anywhere.
My gut's saying Sancho at 5.5 is cheap.
Oh, go on then.
But
what's Cancelo?
Cancelo's 7.5, so he just needs an assist and a clean sheet. But I think United score. You can pick. Well, let's go for Cancelo at 7.5.
Oh, guys in the chat, give us a name. We'll carry on and we can always go back and change it. Give us one name, Cancelo or Sancho.
Cancelo or Sancho. I'll put Cancelo in for now. I'd probably go for Sancho, but it's a democracy. This. And then finally, it's Leeds versus Villa. All the strikers at 6.5. Sinistera at 7.5.
It's got to be Sinistera.
And Aronson, it's got to be, isn't it? I mean, all you're banking on a Villa sort of clean sheet. But again, the defenders are hard because they're all 6.5, so they need something more than a clean sheet in that. It's got to be Sinistera, isn't it? I mean, you've got...
Yeah, because I might actually buy him as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at everyone else, it's Sinister for me at 7.5. Maybe you go for Aronson if you're not quite sure on his minutes. Or you go for a Watkins at 6.5, but you need a couple of returns. I think you go for Sinistera. Clean sheet, goal. That's 8 points. Done.
Yeah. Cancelo and Sancho are currently, I think Cancelo's one better.
Okay.
From the chat.
Okay. Well, drop us a comment as well. I can always change it. This is the team for now. Mitrovic, Coleman, Paqueta, Cancelo, Sinistera. Get your Fantasy 5 predictions in. Links in the description below. If you want to drop us a comment as well on Cancelo versus Sancho. If that's the difference between us winning 10 grand and not, then I'll be absolutely devastated by that. It probably will be. Gianni, awesome. So good to be back. Quite a long one, this one, but we had lots to talk about. Good luck in game week 9. Glad you're feeling better. And I will see you again next week.
Thank you, mate. And thank you guys for watching. Before you leave us, hit the like button. But yeah, I'll be back next week, hopefully with a green arrow. Hopefully the green arrow and a plan for Salah if I need it.
Well, do you see the title of this stream? 6 out of 7 weeks you've had a green arrow.
I will take that.
Solid.
A few of them have been really small ones. Yep. But a green's a green, right?
Green's a green. You've got to take
Green's a green.
Yep, absolutely. Nice one. See you later, everyone.
See you guys.